Hello and welcome to my second creative team layout with the Heidi kit from September 2017 and Felicity Jane. And you'll notice that here I've cut out the Lake Life title from the floral paper, and I wanted to raise it up on pop dots just to get it up off the background a little bit and create a little bit of shadow. And I love that floral paper, so I'm using it again on my second layout. Sorry, I've got a big huge bruise on my hand, which is kind of looks horrible, but my hand lost in the fight between a box and the mirror. So you'll notice that I used the kit stamp at the top there, and the inspiration for this page came from the Magnolia journal, and so the cover of the journal had this nice typography at the top of the page, and that's what inspired this page. So I'm basically following the cover of the Magnolia Home Journal periodical. So I'm going to try to get this Lake Life centered and lined up. That's why I'm using the T-square ruler. And this is a basic brush script that I already had on my computer, and I cut this title out with my silhouette. And I measured and drew some pencil lines to find the center, and then I also drew a 1-inch margin on the right and the left so that I could line up all the items that are going under. I wanted the title to kind of line up with the rest of the items on the page. And so that was the only challenging part for me in creating this was, you'll notice on magazine covers or graphic design layouts that they really pay attention to the line and the spacing. So I was trying to make this like a cover, and that's why I did the margins on the left and the right at 1 inch. And paid attention to the justification on the right and the left. For the typing, I went ahead and typed that before I started recording the layout so that I could erase all the pencil marks for you. Putting the dot on the eye there. And I used one of the packages of the die cuts, had 3 little twigs, and there's the photo I'll be using, sunset on the lake. That's my daughter where we went fishing. And so I really like the colors in that photo. There's the gray in the rocks and the blue in the sky and the mustard color. So there's kind of all the colors in this kit in the photo. So that's why I just really liked how it looked with this one. And so here I chose 6 strips of different patterns that come in your kit, and I'm going to line them up at the bottom here, a little bit different widths. Some solids and some patterns, just to kind of highlight what's in the page already. And bring that down to the bottom with some texture. So I'll be sewing through 3 of these strips, and here's the rest of the strips. I'm showing you kind of a close-up. So I used the blush, the light blue, the teal, the mustard, the gray wood plank paper, and then the floral. So I'm just going to line them up here, and what I'm going to try to do is only put glue at the top of each strip so that I can come back after I stitch through and fluff up, like lift up for some dimension. I'll lift up the bottom of each strip. So that will give a little bit of more texture at the bottom of the page. And since it's a pretty linear layout, I wanted that extra texture at the bottom. So I'm just running a really tiny thin bead of glue at the very top of each strip. And then later in the process video here, you'll notice that I come back with the strips zigzag stitched, and I just went and stitched through those off camera. So I also used another stamp from this month's stamp set that came in your kit, and it's the sentiment that says love you. So I'm going to stamp that in mustard pigment ink, and I am just tossing a few of the hexagonal die cut shapes from your die cut pack, and I'm just scattering those on the bottom left and the top right of the page. And here I'm just making sure that I have the edge of that pocket that's behind the photo. I want it to line up with the L in the first letter of the title. So that's why I'm using the T-square there, to make sure it lines up. And here I'm just thinking. Thinking what else can I put under there. I want another color. I have the blush and the mustard, and then that little polka dot strip is part of the packaging that your die cuts come in. So I'm going to start adhering the layers that are going under the photo. And I think in the finished layout you'll notice that I added a black and white or dark gray and white little strip under where the blush and black and white strips are. So there'll be a third pattern that shows up on the final close-ups. And here I just wanted to use my T-square, make sure I get the photo on there really straight. And this journaling card, it just needed a few extra layers behind the photo there. And you'll notice I'm using the other two matching little leafy bits from the die cut pack, and just using them to soften the hard edges behind the layers of the photo there. Next up I have some close-ups, and you'll see how I ended up finishing up the page. And I have some links in the description box below of other places you'll be able to find my work if you care to do that. And I would love it if you'd subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you soon. Bye.